It is Saturday. You know what that means. It is time for the greatest sports show of all time. Quite possibly. I don't know. Any other station around. We are definitely it. Do not tell the guys that host Primetime that. But I'm going to say what I said. This is Rashad Taylor. I got my guy Brandon Henson behind the glass. What's up, B?
What's up, sir?
The real B Hen, man. What's going on with you, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much, man. Listen, I'm Boss Man's gonna be mad at me probably, but I lost my fob like years ago. Like I can't remember the last time I saw my fob, and so I know this morning I'm getting up for the show. I know Joe's out. Joe is second week. I don't know. Joe might have quit. I don't know if you saw him. This week, but he's out. Jordan is out celebrating, I believe, his wife's birthday. So,
nice.
Happy birthday to Miss Schultz. And so, had to call in the big guns. My guy, B Hen, man.
Yes,
so
sir.
Thank you so much.
No problem, dog.
I had to call in one other piece of heavy artillery, at least for me, man. So, usually, when I do these shows, kind of sans a number two in that chair outside of whomever my producer is for the day. I like to have people on from the community, and considering everything that's been happening just here in Portland lately, and we can mean the Blazers, we can mean the Lloyd Center, we can mean all the things that have kind of gone on around our city. There's one guy that I really, really want to come in. Initially, I thought my man was going to say no. I initially thought when I texted him at first, it was kind of like I got that first I ain't really, it's been a minute type thing. And I was like, man, just come on. It's always a good time. But he is the director of development for Self Enhancement Incorporated, which is I still believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir, the second largest culturally specific organization in the state of Oregon outside of one of the casinos. I believe that to be that. And he's the person that's in charge of going to get money for them. Fresh off of the homecoming that they had Music Soul Child here a couple weeks ago, man. He is a coach. He is a father to some amazing students and athletes, man. He is a mentor of mine. He is one of the greatest storytellers in the history of Portland, and I feel today we're going to get a few of those. He is my guy, my friend, Mr. Anthony Deloney. Thank you for coming, Mac Long.
Thank you, Rashad. That was an amazing introduction. Appreciate you.
Oh, man, it's most of the stuff that I can find on your Facebook or find, so it's not, don't trip. Like, I mean, it's stuff that was pretty easy, but it was important for me to kind of have you on today, like as things have developed with the Blazers, right. There's somebody I know that has a ton of connection to the Blazers and everything, and whose company has a lot of connection to the Blazers, and we'll get to that at a point. But man, I appreciate you for showing up today.
I never say no, my guy. We've been doing this for years. I was shocked when you told me you've been doing this for 12, 13 years.
It's been 12 years now. That's man.
Wild.
It's been 12 years.
Wild.
My son was 2.
Yeah.
And I have a great picture of being at Hunt for the Host and holding my son as I'm waiting to go up. And Miss Alicia Schroyer, who no longer works here, shout out to my girl Alicia, took this amazing picture of my son. And he's a sophomore in high school now, a part of your amazing organization, Self Enhancement.
That's my guy.
So man, it's kind of a full circle thing. But when I decided, or when I got the okay to kind of have people on from my community, you were the first person I called. So you were the absolute first co-host that I ever said, hey, man, you should come do the show with me, bro. I think it'd be fun.
Well, I remember you were a full-time employee when you were going through that contest.
Yes.
And I remember using the company email to tell everybody to vote for you. So
man,
I don't know if that was a conflict of interest.
You know what? It worked, at least for that, at least for that first night. So I remember a story on that. So first night of Hunt for the Host, and we're all super nervous and everything. Nobody knows what to expect. Nobody knows what to do. And I think I do okay, right? I don't think I did like great to even make it that far to top 3. I mean, I thought I was good, but I was like, I might have been a little bit better. But I remember telling people, hey man, I was at my team meeting and was like, hey, going for this radio job, I might need some votes. And I remember people kept voting on the first night for me, and Dusty, who was the producer of Primetime at that point, was like, you guys don't have to vote for Rashad. He'll be fine tonight. You can stop voting for him. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm talking mass votes came through all of a sudden. So, so shout out to SEI for that part, man. So, and I want to say this, too. This might make some people mad out there listening, but I think it's one of the first times I got 3 brothers
Hey,
in the studio at the same time.
Hey,
Yeah, so yeah,
It was inevitable.
I mean, it was going to happen at one point, you know.
was
So
inevitable.
it was going to happen. I mean, I think it might have happened one other time and it was during Black History Month. So that,
Of course it was.
that tracks, right? Yeah. So that
love
tracks.
it.
But
well, here we are.
But here we are, man. And so you just told me that you are going to be one of the coaches for our alma mater, the Ulysses S. Grant High School. Is that true?
Grant High School. I'm back. They got me out of retirement. I'll be one of the assistants this year over at Grant.
That's awesome, man. I know you've been able to kind of coach a lot of great young Portland talent that's kind of come through, and some of which have gone on to the highest of the high, which is the NBA. Some of which have gone on to play overseas, which people out there listening who don't know, I think when we say overseas basketball, you went to go play in China, you went to go play in Germany, you played in Mexico, you're thinking you took a major step down from the NBA, and it is definitely not that level, right? But there are some great kids out there, some great players out there. These dudes are getting paid, though. There's a lot of these guys that are going overseas and playing in Uruguay or wherever the case is.
You can make a good living.
Yeah. Making a great living. I've started to notice that, at least for me, and you can tell me you're much closer to the coaching aspect of things than I am, but I'm starting to see a lot of kids that are starting to understand that I can make money elsewhere, not necessarily in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
And so as long as I can get on, have a good, solid college career and everything like that, there's a good chance I'm going to play basketball until I'm 30.
Well, listen, like I tell, my guys, dribble till they take that ball out of your hands, right? Because work is waiting for you on the other side. So just to be able to go over there, and what people don't always know is that, you don't have to pay for housing. You don't have to pay for your car. So you can really stack, play 5, 6, 7 years, whatever that may be, and start your life debt-free, right, with a nice little nest egg to really begin. And I can tell you, people my age that started that way that are doing, really good things in the community because of that head start.
Yeah. We know, and honestly, a lot of those people, a lot of them came through to work at SEI.
Yeah.
After they finished their playing career and stuff like that, man, gone on to how can I give back, and not just in a sports aspect. Like, what can I do for community to make sure? B, where you're from, I'm curious. Was there many youth development organizations, especially ones that are predominantly Black or Latino, or serve the Jewish or Asian communities?
I think so. I wasn't really a part of any of them, but I think I know of a lot coming from the Phoenix area and coming from LA especially. It's definitely out there, and it's also very important for that to happen. So anytime that we can get kids to reach their dreams and their opportunities is always necessary, and especially in the Black community, that's especially important.
Absolutely. One of the things that you were a huge part of is Self-Enhancement has been located here in Portland since 1981, and you were able to replicate Self-Enhancement out in Miami through a relationship with Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
So Alonzo is down in Miami, right? And so let me go all the way back. So SEI started as a 1-week basketball camp, right? For people that don't know this. So we have a lot of basketball roots.
For sure.
We started from there. But the secret was that this has never been about basketball, right? Like the first day of camp, we say, hey, what are the percentages? Let's imagine, right, that you play high school basketball, right? Let's just fast forward and assume you make varsity. What percent gets a D1 scholarship, right? It's 1%.
Yeah, it's very small.
It's 1%.
It's the smallest percent.
So there's 100 of you in here. So which one of you, right, is getting the D1? And then he'd raise his hand. I say, put your hand down because you're not that good, right? And the reality is, oh, this is hard. However, here are all the other things that you can do, right, in the community. And I always say, close your eyes and let's go down to the Rose Garden, right? And let's count all the jobs we see that are not on the court, right? And I say, look at that scoreboard. whoever maintains that is wealthy, right? Whoever got the contract to screw these seats into the chairs, right?
The walls.
They're wealthy, right?
Yeah,
Well,
we hope.
You know what I'm saying?
We
With
hope.
somebody, right? And so there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's agents, there's so many jobs outside of that. So what we always say, and you'll hear this whenever we talk about SCI, is life has options.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what we want, because it's hard, right? It's rare. That's why these people are so special. But for the rest of us, right, there's opportunities to love the game and still be involved in a certain way. So to your question, we've been able to expand what we do. Alonzo Mourning basically heard about us. It's a crazy story where he and his representatives connected with our CEO, so we replicated an SCI down in Miami.
Wow.
I then had some alumni contact me from Atlanta, probably about 15 years ago now, and we replicate our basketball camp down in Atlanta. But at the end of the day, our main focus is right here in Portland.
You want to hear the crazy part about that? Is that Atlanta and Miami are not short of black people.
No.
Not short of no, more than that, not short of prominent black people and athletes that could do something like a self-enhancement or like a Boys and Girls Club, to be able to really provide stuff for students. So the fact that they saw, no, what they're doing over here, let's replicate it. As somebody who's not, I'm not gonna say ran it. You wouldn't let me run the basketball. You wouldn't let me run basketball camp. You wouldn't let me run basketball camp.
You had a major hand in running camp.
Man, I went and got pizza.
Don't
I
sell
turned in
yourself
time
short,
sheets.
my guy.
I turned in
You
time
did your
sheets.
thing.
But as somebody who had a hand in these basketball camps, I can tell you there's nothing like those, and we're going to make sure we talk more about them, because there has been some incredible talent from even back in the 1980s up until now that have come through that basketball camp, and really it's become a proving ground for young athletes here in Portland. So we're going to definitely talk about that. But we do have some other sports to talk about. The Blazers had a big step forward with the city. What does that mean, and how close are we to this whole thing being wrapped up? Also, we want to talk a little NFL, not a whole bunch. We're just going to go around. I want everybody to tell me who they think the worst roster in the league is going to be this year, but also who the best one is going to be. So we're going to try to take our bias out of it as far as being a Patriot fan, being a Broncos fan, being a
Patriots fan.
B, I knew I liked you, bro.
Man.
I knew you were my guy, man. There's something about him. He
Y'all,
glows.
y'all got lucky. That's
He glows.
all I'm saying.
Hey, man, y'all had the same snow we had, but we did have our quarterback.
We did have our quarterback.
That's at least,
Anyway,
that's
I'm gonna leave
at
it
least
alone.
something.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
So, the Lakers also have a new owner again for like the second time in a year or something like that. But we'll talk about Joshua Kushner and his brand new franchise that I'm not going to say it's weird, but it feels weird. But we'll do that and so much more right here. Sports Saturday, 105.1 The Fan.
Hey, Portland, have we got a...
So a couple days ago, Portland City Council voted 8-4 to approve a non-binding term sheet at the dedicating $120 million in public funding. You're welcome. Towards arena renovations. So we're closer, right? It looks like Portland city officials, stop sitting on their hands and stop, well, at least most of them. I would like to know who the other 4 people were. I think we should collectively egg their house, figuratively. Don't nobody actually go out there and egg anybody's houses. But why we would vote against having the Trailblazers in Portland, or why we would vote against, because that's essentially what you'd be doing. If you're not voting for giving the monies, you're essentially voting for them to go away. And I was just really curious of why they would vote to not have this team or to not, contribute that money. But, it doesn't matter. It was signed 8-4. So now we wait, right? Now there's more waiting to do. But as a Blazers fan, where did that put you? What mind frame that put you in? For me, it was just more of okay, we knew this was going to happen. I think a lot of us knew it was just a matter of time before it happened. Why it took so long to kind of happen, and why there was so much pushback about something that I think not even Portland fans, but most sports fans would kind of understand. The franchise doesn't own the arena. The franchise is a tenant of the arena, right? That's like saying because, Beyonce came, Beyonce owns the arena. She does not, right? She comes and rents it for one night, does business, and moves forward. The Blazers just rent it for 50 nights, and that's what they do. So in no way would I be responsible for the renovations in, if I worked for Mr. Deloney, no way I'd be responsible for the renovations in his spot. Right? That's just that would never happen.
Yeah.
So I was glad that part is over, at least for now. And so we'll see what new roadblocks are put in the way, because it feels like every time we get close, there's something new that, well, what about these taxes now? I mean, are we going to change those tax codes any point? But so we'll see what that is. But as a Blazers fan, as a Portland resident, initial reactions to seeing that first deal was signed.
I think it allows people that love the team to exhale a little bit.
Yes.
Right? It's not done until it's done. I tell you, watching this whole thing play out reminds me, I'm a little older, but you guys remember Major League and the whole premise of that was like the owner does the worst things possible, so I can move the team freely,
make it super cheap,
right?
Cheap plane, cheap everything.
I tell people to go back and look at that, and a lot of this has felt just like that. But I think this allows the runway to make this happen, because at the end of the day, you can raise your hand and say, hey, I want to move the team, but you need the commissioner's permission. You need the rest of the owners.
You need the other city's permission.
Right. Exactly.
And to our knowledge, and I think Jordan kind of touched on this last week, we haven't heard Kansas City come out and say, yeah, we'll take a new team. Right. Or we haven't heard, Nashville come out and be like, yeah, bring the team to us. For everything that Dundon wants to do as far as, maybe getting a new arena and everything, you're going to have to do that wherever you move. Yeah. And so it's going to be, if giving or not giving $20 million was an issue, like, you think he's going to shell out $1 billion?
Right.
Nah.
So I think it allows everybody to breathe a little bit and know that this is one more positive step.
Yes.
So if you leave, it won't be because of money, because you got what you asked for. Right. So I think it makes it really hard for him to justify trying to leave if you got pretty much exactly what you wanted.
I'm curious, as a non-Blazer fan, but somebody who watches the Blazers, obviously.
And works for the Blazers.
And works for the Blazers. Well, he is a huge Blazers fan. If anybody's listening, it's his favorite team. You know what I'm saying? He's got PJs and everything else, man. He is a Blazers fan.
Not to that level.
But I'm curious, like, we're very vested, and obviously you are too, being, because if they move to Nashville,
I'm out of.
I don't think they're taking you with them. Yeah, I think you'd be here. But where does that put you as not just a watcher, but an employee?
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously a hot topic. It's been a hot topic all summer. I'm personally kind of sick of it, because I think it's going to get done eventually. I think it's just been a lot of drama in between and a lot of impatience on both sides. So I think it will get done eventually. I'm glad that this first step has been done and taken care of, but now I feel like there's another 5-6 steps still to go.
There are.
And we're just going to be sitting again, waiting and being impatient and overreacting and starting to rant on what's going to go wrong, why isn't anything happening, and just start to panic.
Because
and naturally that's how we are as humans, is that if something's not going the way we think it's going to, we start to panic and we start to react emotionally.
And so the next step of this whole thing, and I think the reason there is that panic that you mentioned, is because Dundon still has to sign a 20-year lease with the city. So far that hasn't happened. I believe we have until December.
I think it's right.
End of December to get that signed and get that ready to go and everything. We've talked about this, Anthony, on the show, and it was like I'm one of those people that feels like everything Dundon has done has been, at first I kind of chalked it up as, hey man, here's a guy from hockey, things they do differently in hockey, like two-way players don't travel for playoffs in hockey, right? They don't get late checkouts or whatever, at least, so there's certain things like, all right, man, cool, you just didn't know. Now I'm like, oh no, you knew all the stuff. You knew two-way players couldn't travel or could travel, and you were like, nah, we're good. You knew it would piss people off to not give the fans T-shirts. You knew it would piss people off to lowball the coach that just got you into the playoffs and try to get a coach. You knew it pissed not just fans, it pissed off the coaches association that was like, yeah, what the hell? Like
1-year contract.
Who does that for a coach?
Right, unheard of.
So yeah, you knew the early checkout at the hotels would bother people, not letting your commentary team go, or not firing your broadcast team. Like, you knew all these things would agitate a fan base who wasn't pissed off. Blazer fans felt the best we felt in 5 years this year.
Yep.
This was the year you got an all-star.
Yep.
You got a guy that should have won most improved in Denny Avia, but whatever. You go from 16 to damn near 25, and you get most improved player. But I digress. You get a coach that looks like he kind of knows how to at least rally his guys and everything. You find out Damian Lillard came back. Like, you got Dame back
For free, basically.
For free.
Right.
Drew Holiday stayed. Like,
Right.
You seen that movie Draft Day?
Yeah.
Terrible movie,
Yeah.
but I mean the most
wasn't
unrealistic
mad at it.
movie until this year.
Right.
Because it seemed like everything that happened in Draft Day, for whatever reason, happened to the Blazers. So you get Drew Holiday. He says, "Nah, I don't want to be in Portland and everything." So you're able to. So you trade Dame, you get Denny, and you get a bunch of other guys that you didn't really love, like DeAndre Ayton, but you did also get Tamani Kamara and everything. You were able to flip Malcolm Brogdon for. Was it Denny? I think you flipped Malcolm Brogdon for, and some other stuff. You sprinkled a little fairy dust on this stuff, and you got Drew Holiday back. You got Dame back. Denny became an all-star. Tamani is an all-defensive guy. Not this year, but overall, he's one of those ones. Donovan Clingan leads the league in blocks. Or at least blocks or rebounds. Is it blocks or rebounds? Yeah, I think it's rebounds.
I think it might have been offensive rebounds.
I think he's the
Something like that.
top rated in 2K as far as rebounds are concerned. This year,
the most
which is a
important.
huge thing. Like you got big strides from Shaden before he went down. Scoot came in and looked like, oh, that's the guy that you drafted number 3. That makes sense all of a sudden. So as Blazer fans, the vibes couldn't be higher.
Yeah.
Right at this point. So then I think you have and when you're moving a franchise, think about any franchise that's moved, any sport, the fan base is unhappy. The Chargers aren't happy in San Diego. The Expos aren't happy in Montreal. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, let's make you can't move a franchise that's fans are happy.
Yeah.
And in a market like Portland, they're overperforming if you're the Blazers and everything. So like, you have a happy fan base, you can't move them unless I start pissing people off. Then it's a little easier for them to say, like,
Major
whatever.
League. I'm trying to
Major
tell
League.
you. So it felt like a lot of it. It felt like a lot of it was intentional.
Right.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Almost silly. Like, come on, how much are you really saving with the early checkout? Right.
Seriously.
All that stuff. And so you're trying to send a message, and a lot of it is just leverage. I understand business, and how people make those moves, but to your point, Portland is different.
Very different.
Right, that we don't have a long history of a bunch of teams. So the Blazers, our they are ours, right?
Yeah.
We enjoy the Blazers, right? And to be honest, the biggest secret in Portland is that you don't have to be a contender for us to be happy.
No.
Right?
No.
Be a good guy and compete every night, and the Portland fans will love you.
100%. 100%.
And that's the secret.
And you look at anybody that's like truly been loved in this city, it's more than
right.
just basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I think Drexler might be the one outlier just because Drexler was around, but he wasn't really around like that for a lot of folks. Like, but Terry Porter, to see him out somewhere,
Yeah.
to see Kersey out somewhere, to have your mom or something like that, or your auntie dance with Cliff Robinson at a
Yeah.
club at
Come on.
Shadon's or something like that. Like, those things were like they were visible. And so even CJ, like
Yeah.
if you go by the Boys and Girls Club on
Yeah.
MLK, there's still a kind of a painting of CJ because I think he did
He was
something to
involved.
their like gave him a new
Yeah.
computer lab or something along those
guys.
lines. Yeah.
I have how much time we got?
So we're gonna break, but
gonna
actually
break?
I wanted to talk
I got
about
an amazing story about that old school team that you guys will love.
So I want to not only talk about that, but I
Yeah.
want to talk about as far as business, because Self-Enhancement is one of those organizations that was directly impacted
Yeah.
by the Blazers. We're going to talk about that. And also, again, I told you, he's one of the best storytellers that I've ever heard. So he's going to tell some Blazer stories, especially that pertain to Portland. We're going to do that next. But first, Brandon has a Sports Center update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Devin Witherspoon got paid today. The Seahawks three-time Pro Bowler agreed to a 4-year, $132 million extension that included $101 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. NFL preseason last night, Tua Tagovailoa with a forgettable debut for the Falcons, 3 for 5, 22 yards, and a fumble as Atlanta got dominated by the Broncos 27-7. Malik Willis in his Dolphins debut led an opening 14-play, 93-yard touchdown drive, but the Commanders won the game 20-7, and the Buccaneers beat the Jets 24-16. 7 more games today, capped off by your Seahawks taking on the Cowboys at 5 o'clock. Coverage starts at 3 p.m. right here on 105.1 The Fan. Your Portland Fire capped off a 4-game season sweep of its rival Seattle Storm last night, winning on the road 84-82. Holly Winterburn, who averaged 2.5 points per game coming into the game, dropped 16 points in the first quarter on her way to a career-high 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. Fire head to Phoenix to battle the Mercury tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tune in on 9:10 a.m. ESPN Portland. And your Portland Thorns are back in action tonight in Province Park against the Orlando Pride. Coverage starts at 5:30 on 9:10 a.m. ESPN Portland ahead of a 5:45 kickoff. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Murray.
crazy thing about this song, besides it being one of my favorite records, this reminds me of Oaks Park. So I'd go skating, you know what I'm saying? And I learned how to skate backwards and all this stuff and everything. Number one, you should know this, man. And I guess it's a good segue. An amazing skater. Ice skating, roller blading, like you name it, we can do it, man. I had my first opportunity to ice skate at the now defunct Lloyd Center, which is insane to say. RIP to the Lloyd Center, man. Such a huge part of Portland. So I walked through the Lloyd Center on Friday. So last Saturday was the final day, and ended up being a great setting and everything for people. But I ended up walking through the Lloyd Center on Friday, and there were a bunch of people there, and I got kind of pissed off. Because I was like, man, where were y'all at?
Where were y'all
at 5 years ago? Like,
they
seriously,
were dying.
Now everybody wants to be all nostalgic and stuff, but where were you when, you know what? But like anything, like video killed the radio star. And so Amazon came about, and shopping online came about, and there's no reason to go to the Marshalls or to the, I don't know, Mr. Rags or whatever no more at the Lloyd Center.
The Oak Tree.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But the reason I think the people are so connected to the Blazers, because in Portland we don't have a whole lot to really be attached to. The Lloyd Center was one of those things. The Blazers are another one of those things, and there's real financial impact of the Blazers not being here. Or being here, right? You know what I'm saying? The city profits, especially on game nights and stuff like that. Everybody, the Jackson stores are getting money because people are buying beers and stuff before they go in. The liquor stores that are right there are getting money. The Applebee's, or excuse me, the Red Robin is finally getting business at some point because people are actually watching the game in there. I don't think they do business any other time of year. Spirit of 77 there is not a reason to go to that bar unless you're going to watch a Blazer game. Other than that, it seems pretty dead. Self-Enhancement is one of those organizations that if you've ever watched a Blazer game at one point, for every dunk I think that happened, there was some money that was donated to Self-Enhancement.
We've partnered with them for years, on and off, like a lot of other nonprofits, but they've always been a part of who we are. And a lot of that is just relationships, right? I mean, I've been at SEI 30 years. There were people at the Blazers that's been there 18, 19 years, who we became really close with. And so we would always get that phone call, hey, we have tickets. We would have players that come in and sign and don't know anything about us, and they would purchase a whole section, right? And I want the SEI kids to be in this section. So we've been a part of the Blazers for years and years. But I always tell this story. So you guys are a little younger than me, just a little.
It's a couple years,
right? But there was a time where the Portland police walked around with Blazer cars.
Yes, they did.
Right? And we would chase the police down. Right? Think about that. Like,
get a card and a sticker.
This is the Black History edition, right?
Yeah.
Well, we had black boys running after the police to say, "Hey, man, give me that Darnell Valentine. Give me that Bill Walton card." Right? That was where we come from. So as we grew up, the Blazers were idols. They weren't just basketball players. There was no other teams, right? It was the Blazers.
Yeah.
And
so
people
didn't root for Seattle like that.
Oh,
back
no.
then. There was no rooting for the Seahawks. There was no rooting for the Mariners. Like that. All that stuff is really within the past 30 years.
Because of the Sonics, we hated Seattle.
Yes,
in fact.
absolutely.
And anything connected to you.
And then the Sonics left, and it's like, well, I guess the Seahawks aren't that bad.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So let's take it back to 7th grade, right? We have to do a research project. And so me and my buddy get permission. I don't know how this happened. We just picked up the phone and called, let you know it's a different time, right? 7th graders, hey, can we come down and interview the Blazers? They said yes. So we catch 3 buses, and back then they didn't have a practice facility. They practiced at the Jewish Middleman Center.
That's right, yeah.
So it was just a community center, just like SEI. And so we go and we have no press passes. We have a tape recorder and 7th grade minds, right? And so as we walk in, the first thing we see is this black Volvo, right, with the lights on. And so we look down. and the license plate just says Kersey. It's a Volvo. It's a Volvo, not a Mercedes, not a BMW. It's a souped-up Volvo. So we go inside, and all these guys are just looking at us. Nobody escorts us in, and we just go up to Jerome and say, "Hey, Mr. Kersey, your lights are on." So my bad. Throws us the keys, right? We go get the 7th graders.
Thought you were
we go
valets?
get in his car. Oh, listen.
Here you go.
We had a camera. When I tell you we had a 15-minute photo shoot, right, with us behind the whip, kneeling down by the tires. But that was, right, the early stages. And so we're walking around just asking the Blazers questions after practice. This is right before the run, right? So Kiki Vandeweghe is still there. Kersey isn't the starter yet. Clyde Drexler, Duckworth is a rookie, right? All these guys are just amazing. And I asked Clyde Drexler literally the worst question of all time, and I still cringe when I think about this. So he's being super polite, and they're all so sweet. And I don't know any better. So I say, "Hey, Clyde, when you play like Magic and Bird, are you ever intimidated?" He must have looked at me like I stole $20 from him.
See?
He's like, "Bro, I'm just as good as the rest of them. Don't you ever?" I was like,
See?
"My bad, Clyde."
You the reason Clyde don't like us now,
My bad,
man.
Clyde. I didn't know any
You're
better.
the reason Clyde don't mess with Portland now.
But amazing guys, but that's how accessible they were. 7th graders called and they let us in.
And I think that's the crazy thing. Like,
Yeah.
And I know you also gave a story about the Blazers showing up before the first game of this season or this past season.
Oh yeah, so they are connected. When I say we professionally, we have a great relationship. So the day before the season starts, we had the opportunity to host the Blazers. So the entire team showed up, and we were going back and forth about how we want to do this. And what I said was, I don't want us just to do a photo shoot and you can hear somebody shooting baskets. No. We want the Blazers to come and experience SCI the same way our students experience. So they come over on buses, right, just like our students. We rotate them around, dance class, computer class, all these other things. So if you go to our Instagram, Self Enhancement Inc., you got Donovan Clingan in dance class, shaking and bouncing.
Oh, we got to get Donovan Clingan some video
learning
of Clingan
dance.
dancing,
So
yeah.
you can pull it. It's amazing, right? We go into gym talk where we learn our standards and our rules and our regulations and things that make us SCI. And you got Dame singing "Party in the USA," right? Like it's an amazing event. And that was the day before the season started. So we are connected. One more story, how connected they are to us. So when we were, I left my keys or something at SCI on a Saturday. So I go up there. This is probably 5 years ago. And nobody's there, just a couple cars in the parking lot. And I hear a commotion in the computer lab. So I just go, what's going on? There's probably 7 or 8 kids, 2 adults, and Dame Lillard with a backpack.
Just chilling on a Saturday.
No entourage.
And he live in Lake Oswego,
Right?
man.
No
There's no reason
entourage,
for you
no
to be over here.
squad. And not just chilling in the back like, nah, hold on, man. You got to hold F1, right? He's really in here engaged with the kids. Nobody, no cameras, no nothing, but that's the connectedness I've seen the Blazers have.
Yeah.
And shout out to those guys for being always accessible. So they don't get a lot of credit and love, but I've seen that firsthand.
And I can imagine, for them, especially in a city that we often talk about is not incredibly black,
Yep.
To have, because more than just an organization for young black kids, like you kind of serve as a hub for the black community. Like, so having something like a couple weeks ago, there was the SCI Homecoming, which is pretty much the celebration of like the birthday party, pretty much of self-enhancement. And Music Soul Child was there. So everybody's TT, everybody's mom, everybody's, all the smell Drakkar and White Diamonds all through Unthank Park. But it's stuff like that and the connectivity to black community that I think the Blazers and Blazers players just enjoy. It's a little bit different. Like when the Jailblazers documentary came out, you notice when they were talking to a lot of kids and a lot of families and stuff like that, they were usually from the West Side. They were from Lake Oswego. They were from Beaverton. They were from Tigard. They weren't from North Portland. They didn't go to Sitton Elementary. They didn't go to Peninsula. They didn't go to Grant. They didn't go to, at that point, Madison or anything like that. They made sure they asked those people. But if you asked a lot of us, man, I remember the Blazers just being always a part of this community. Like they are part of the cultural zeitgeist here in Portland. Like the Blazers are it. Like I remember living in Vegas and I would meet people and I'm like, I'm from Portland. The first thing they said, like, Maine? And I was like, what? Like, we're on number one, we're not that far from Las Vegas, number one, but the first thing you thought was Maine, and we're like, what's Portland? I said Oregon. It's like there's a Portland, Oregon.
They got black people there?
And then I say, do you watch basketball? It's like, yeah, the Trailblazers. I thought that was in Maine.
Wow.
Bro, all right, man. So like even Maine gets more love than Oregon does as far as that. But yes, like that is kind of the pillar is the Trailblazers. So them not being around is bad news.
I think a lot of times people don't get especially the players, right? They come from all these different places, and when they come in to buy a house and where to send your kids, they get they live in Beaverton, they live in West Linn.
They probably figure out the taxes before they move there, right?
And they realize quickly, you don't live in Portland. You live, and nothing wrong with that. And so when they finally come to SCI and they say, I didn't know this existed, and now that I'm here, how can I get involved?
You know, and that brings up a good point. We should play a fun game of Is It Portland? And I'm going to name out certain areas of this.
Hey, man, I don't want nobody calling me.
Hey, man, no, because they'll call me. More than likely, they'll get in touch with me.
Please call Rashad.
But we should be very clear, because I don't know how many times in college or something like that, and I'll be like, oh, where are you from? I'm from Portland. Oh, me too. It's like, okay, what school did you go to? Oh, I went to I don't know, McNary. It's like, what? That's
wow.
What? No. Oh man, yeah. I went to school out in Wilsonville. It's like, that's
not the same.
That's not like,
not the same.
It's not, bro. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, we spent a lot of time talking about the impact. We spent a lot of time talking about the business side of things.
Yeah.
One thing we haven't talked about enough is the actual team. What is the minutes going to look like for this team? What's the competition going to look like on this team? Who are they going to be better than in the Western Conference? I think it's going to be a few teams. We'll finally talk about Blazers basketball when we come back right here. Sports Saturday on The Fan. .46 on 8/15/26. My mom is having her birthday party later this afternoon. Hopefully the weather, and I'm knocking on wood, hopefully the weather holds up, because it was looking a little gray this morning. But
looking very Portland-y out
very
there.
Portland outside. I even saw like some what I assume were raindrops.
Yeah.
Almost like
On
cloud
my
particles.
window, yeah.
Almost. It was that's like mist.
I couldn't
on the
tell. It was
windshield.
like
I had a couple sprinkles.
Yeah,
I had a couple sprinkles.
and it was literally a couple. And I was
Yes.
looking, and I was like, man, is that rain right there?
It was
so,
4 to be exact.
So I'm knocking on wood. Like it was literally, like I said, it was like you. It was maybe 2 or 3, and I'm like, did somebody spit on my car or what happened? But man, we've spent so much time talking about contracts and talking about renovations and talking about ownership and all these things, and we have really yet to talk about this roster. This, I don't know, impressive roster? Question mark. I mean, small roster? Question mark. Like I think there are a lot of different ways people can look at this. Obviously, the addition of one Ja Morant, who was traded for somebody who was born in Portland, Mr. Jeremy Grant, right? And I think at points we're going to feel Jeremy's impact being gone because he was somebody that can get you a few rebounds. He can knock down that quarter three. Obviously, I think he led the league in 3-point and ones this past year. So he is somebody that can be really effective. I think he's going to do some pretty okay things in Memphis. He's going to be in Memphis. So, there's that part. But adding Ja Morant to a roster that's already very full with guards, right? And especially with the addition of the now returning Damian Lillard. So far, and let me see what the depth chart says it looks like. ESPN has a starting lineup as Ja Morant, Damian Lillard, Tamani Kamara, Denny Avdia, Donovan Clingan. Is that correct to you guys?
Yes.
So did you say Holiday?
I did not say Holiday.
So they're assuming he's coming off the bench.
Yes.
Yeah, good luck telling him that. I mean, if I'm him, like, man, I'll roast both of these. Like,
Yeah.
that's how he feels. So again, but don't let me cause no problems.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Dame coming back is a big deal. If you've seen
Yeah.
the workouts from Dame,
Yeah.
he looks ready.
Yeah.
He's moving great. He looks like he's, Beanie Dame is what I'm calling him. We had Hoodie Mello. This is
Okay.
Beanie Dame.
Beanie
Working.
Dame.
Yeah, this is he looked like he's ready to go. I've loved seeing Dame and Denny in the gym together.
Mm-hmm.
They've been working out together. Dame has even started to learn some Mandarin to be able to really communicate with
Okay.
Young a little more, and he looked kind of okay in summer league. He looked okay in summer league last
year.
but that's that. I don't necessarily love Ja Morant in the starting lineup. I think Dame, who is notoriously a terrible defender, just not because he doesn't try, he just can't do it. Now coming off an Achilles injury, I'm curious of how great he's going to be laterally, because that's really what defense is your ability to move left and right and stuff. Ja Morant can't play defense at all. I think you get cooked. Whoever your starting guards are going to work because they see, man, you have nobody that can hold them. I think Drew Holiday has to be your starter.
That's all I was thinking. So I think you have a kind of a problem, unless, right? Again, this is clearly not middle school and high school basketball. But when you have those bodies, if you can turn up the temperature, if you can turn up the pace, you're right. All of a sudden, there's plenty of minutes because we're playing at such a high tempo that I need a sub, right. And so I think that's one way to do it. Now, to be honest, I was shocked that they said they didn't want to move on from Holiday, just because he is the piece for a team that's
100%.
this far from a championship. So I thought, and I still think that that's waving out there. I think he's amazing, and from every report I've heard, he's one of the best guys in the building in terms of just being a human. But on the business side, it's like, I think you gotta spin him out to get something for you.
But it seems like he wants to be here.
Yeah.
Like, because there was initially, and I think we all kind of saw it, that there was some Drew Holiday buyout rumors that were happening and kind of circulating, and I think it kind of made a lot of Blazer fans real nervous because you saw the impact of a Drew Holiday on the floor. He just makes your team offensively, defensively different and better. Like, I think a lot of the defensive mentality that the Blazers took on this past year were because of Drew Holiday. What's my guard? I don't think he's a Blake Wesley. You know, he's one of those guys that really kind of help change your defensive mentality, and also Tamani Kamara. Like, those are the three guys that really put. Obviously, Donovan Clingan is a shot blocker and all those things. So that goes without being said. Like, he's 7'2". Like, we expect him to really block some shots. But and then you bring in Scoot Henderson, who's also a pretty solid defender as far as what he's able to do. So it's just kind of one of those things. Defensively, I think you can do some things, but in that starting lineup, if you don't have if you don't have Drew Holiday as your starter, you're looking at really Tamani and Denny taking a lot of the in a league that has a ton of great 3s and 4s, right now, and so they're going to need to be out there. But then they're going to end up guarding point guards and shooting guards just because your two starting shooting guards or points can't guard the chairs that we're sitting in.
Yes, but I still think when you look at just the roster last year versus this year, you can say we just added Ja and Dame, right?
Yes.
So, yes, defense is important, but all of a sudden you got some explosiveness. So sometimes the best defense is, scoring a whole bunch more points. And I think that backcourt could really cause some problems. And I don't think we've talked a lot about, Ja and, the perceived issues. But to me, for the issues that he's perceived to have, I can't think of a better place for
100%.
him than Portland with Dame.
Absolutely.
Because that's one thing about the Blazers that anybody will tell you, this is his team, right? And even when he wasn't playing last year, you saw his stamp on how we are professionals, how we stand up, hey, Merrill, we don't do that here, right? And that's all culture is, right? How we do things here. And I think that is I think we're going to get a better Ja because of Dame.
I think the first thing Ja should have did is move in a Dame spot. Don't even buy a house, bro. Don't even, because Dame's got a basketball court at his spot. He has a guest room that you can stay in. Ja, don't even buy a spot for your first 4 months here. Come stay with me, work on that jumper, work on our game. Like, for real, that's where you should be. If you're Ja Morant and you've had, and there are issues, but let's be real. We talked about this during the break. Ja Morant showed a gun on Instagram. He didn't shoot said gun. I mean, he did have that one thing where somebody in his team hit somebody with would think it was a gun, but it could have been a pointer, like a laser pointer. We don't know, at this point. But he's never been arrested for shooting anybody, for being a part of any domestic disputes. He's never been arrested for drugs. He's never been cited for weed, as far as we know at this point. So he hasn't done anything wrong per se, outside of being an idiot, being young, being lit. And anybody that holds their gun with two fingers like this as they're dancing, I'm sorry, I'm the less than threatened.
Listen, there's a lot of internet stuff going around about, he's the dude in 8 Mile, like Clarence parents have a real good marriage.
Yeah, that's exactly him.
So some of it is just pretend, right?
My man's name is Demetrius.
Right?
Stop it, bro. Like, come on.
But let's be real. Like, we like who we like, right? And he had a style and a swag that a lot of people nationally didn't like. So when he did that thing, it got shot through the roof that, he's this, and I think people tried to paint him as he's what's wrong with these young kids. Right? And instead of dealing with the issue specifically, it was like, all these young kids are like that. And it almost played to our advantage, because let's be real, nobody's knocking down the door to come to Portland, Oregon through free agency. We talked off camera about the last major free agent we got was Brian Grant.
The Rasta Monster.
Right? So nobody's really coming here in their prime. So we have to, get them at their lowest in terms of perception to get folks like that. And so for what we gave up in Jeremy Grant, I think getting Ja is going to be a home run.
Now, I think it will be too. You're talking about a guy who at his very best is 24 and 8, so 8 assists. So that means he's an unselfish player. And even with playing with those guys in Memphis, and even this past year, what did he average? 7 assists in the 20-something games that he played. So that's 7 assists to name 4 of the players from Memphis right now. Go, Brandon. 4 players from Memphis.
I can't. Sorry.
I can't either, because I don't watch any Memphis basketball. Right? Can you name 3 players that play for the Grizzlies?
Man, no. Good.
Rest in peace, Brandon Clark.
Not without Google.
Yeah, rest in peace, Brandon Clark. But outside of that, I don't know a lot of Memphis players. And so I'm looking at a guy from like in Ja that was just, I think apathy set in. I think you're looking at a dude who was like, I do not want to be here in Memphis anymore. This is not going well. Coaching changes, like roster changes. You took away my second best scorer and Desmond Bane and sent him to like you're blowing things up. That's cool. Get me out of here.
They're starting over.
Which is fine.
Right.
Which is fine.
Our gain.
Yeah, our gain, exactly. We get Ja Morant for a contract that seemed impossible to move.
Yep.
Nobody felt like they wanted Jeremy Grant's contract, and then and which sucks because Jeremy Grant, he worked for it. Like I mean, and at that point he was like considered the Blazers' best player, so he probably should have been paid like the best player. But I think you got him thinking that you were going to get Dame. Dame had other plans, and it all, it all kind of blew up from there. I do want to ask though, because and we're going to do this in the next segment. I think this is going to be the year, and this is usually the year where teams take a step forward. The Blazers made the playoffs last year. This year, it's not going to be a play-in. I think they take a step forward and become a full-fledged, like, hey, we're in the mix. We're going to talk about who they're going to be better than. We need to know that. We're going to start with obviously the Western Conference, but we're also going to venture out into the East. You do got to play them twice a year, and there are some really, really dope teams in the Eastern Conference this upcoming year after the wildest offseason that we've possibly ever seen. I don't think that Eastern Conference is going to include Kawhi Leonard, though. That's a whole different story.
Lord.
Yeah, man. Kawhi, hey, man, that's can't get right, boss.
Listen,
so yeah.
I need some of those endorsements.
Man, I don't know. I don't think it's bad, but hey, I don't think you can do business like that. That and so much more. Second hour, Sports Saturday on the Fan.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life.
The George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Devin Witherspoon got paid today. The Seahawks three-time Pro Bowler agreed to a 4-year, $132 million extension that includes $101 million guaranteed, making him the highest-paid cornerback in NFL history. NFL preseason last night, Tua Tagovailoa with a forgettable debut for the Falcons, 3 for 5, 22 yards, and a fumble as Atlanta got dominated by the Broncos 27-7. Malik Willis in his Dolphins debut led an opening 14-play, 93-yard touchdown drive, but the Commanders won the game 20-7, and the Buccaneers beat the Jets 24-16. 7 more games today, capped off by the Seahawks taking on the Cowboys at 5 o'clock. Coverage starts at 3 p.m. right here on 105.1 The Fan. Your Portland Fire capped off a 4-game season sweep of its rival Seattle Storm last night, winning on the road 84-82. Holly Winterburn, who averaged 2.5 points per game coming into the night, dropped 16 points in the first quarter on her way to a career-high 20.7 rebounds and 3 steals. Fire head to Phoenix to battle the Mercury tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tune in on 9:10 a.m. ESPN Portland. And your Portland Thorns are back in action tonight in Providence Park against the Orlando Pride. Coverage starts at 5:30 on 9:10 a.m. ESPN Portland ahead of a 5:45 kickoff. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch.
All right, new intros. Shout out to Joe Fish for that one. Did we have a new one to start the show?
No, these have been the same ones.
This is not
There
the
is an
same.
alternate corn dog one that you might think of as a second.
The corn, yeah, corn dogs. I don't know if I've heard this one. I don't know. Maybe I have. Honestly, I never listened to the
You pay
bump backs. Yeah,
attention.
I never listened to the bump backs before.
Not really your job to
Yeah,
come
no.
right off the open and talk. So.
Before we start, yeah, I never really, even we're usually still talking before the. Well, whoops. I'll pay closer attention to
It's
everything.
all right.
Dang, Witherspoon, big bag, huh?
Yes, sir.
132 million for 4 years for the Seahawks corner. Man, hey, Devon Witherspoon. Is he the best corner in football?
He's up there. Yeah, I think so.
Why not?
I don't know. There's a guy that plays for New England that I think is probably the best in the world. But I'm lying.
It's just his. No. I think it's just his turn, right?
Fair enough.
And that's how
It goes with corners.
right?
Corners and receiver is the most interchangeable. Like who's the best every year for quarterbacks?
yeah.
It's pretty much the same year to year. Like we know we have the same group of 5 guys. Even now, like you look back 4 or 5 years ago, it was still
Be the
Lamar
same
Jackson.
core
It was
guys,
still, Josh Allen. It was still all the same guys, Mahomes
Yeah.
and everybody like that. Receiver and DB are the two positions that, man, 1 year Odell was the best receiver in the league, and then 1 year, somebody else was. So that's usually the way it goes. But Devon Witherspoon, go ahead and get your money, bro. I will be there on September 9th to watch the Seahawks take on my New England Patriots up there at
Nice.
Lumen. Yeah, I gotta go to that game. Bro.
Nice.
I fully plan to get into a fight with the Seahawks.
Right after they show the banner of
Yeah,
of
no,
the
I'm not
championship
because
and
like
start a fight
people
right
at
off the
football
bat.
games are just aggressive for no reason. Like
Listen.
why are you so angry, bro? Like just because I wore this jersey does not mean I'm here to fight with you.
Don't be the guy that wears the jersey, man. Don't be that guy.
No, listen. I'm 43 years old, man. I am not wearing another man's name
Okay.
on my back.
Thank
you
you.
know, unless like it's like an old jersey. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
person
yeah.
is like
Throwback.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
All right, man, he's older than
I'm
me.
with you
I
on
can
that.
wear Sean Alexander,
I'm
but
with you on that.
like I want a jaw jersey, but I
Yeah.
don't want a jaw jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would have loved a Carmelo Anthony Blazers jersey. I just don't want a jersey. That dude is the same age as me,
Yeah.
younger than me.
You can't be the guy on the road trip though. Did we learn anything from the Knicks San Antonio series?
Well, what we know is Knicks fans would have got what's the term they like to use? Packed up.
Man, listen,
Hey, tug on my jersey.
there's too many.
tug on my
bro.
hat,
There's
man.
too many.
Well,
There was there was mobs, bro.
There was mobs, man. There was mobs. That's the one I did not want the Knicks to win for
Yeah.
that reason alone. It's your fans. The same way I feel about Knicks fans. The same way I feel about Philly fans of any sport. Pick
Cowboy
one.
fans are the worst.
Cowboy fans, like, hey man, I can't stand.
I
you.
don't mind the Cowboys. I don't like Cowboy fans.
Seahawk fans have become annoying like that too.
Yeah, they are.
I'm so sorry. I know we have a lot of Seahawk fans out there listening. Listen, there's no disrespect. There's none of that. But let's be real. Y'all are kind of annoying coming from the
They're
Patriots.
fair
fan.
weather. They're quiet.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I had coworkers that I've worked with for years.
Never had Seattle nothing.
I didn't know you liked the Seahawks.
They
This
didn't.
is new to me. I didn't know this.
They didn't.
Right?
They
They
didn't.
came out of nowhere.
I got some friends that'll remain nameless that all of a sudden was like, I've been a Seahawks fan for no, you haven't.
Facts.
We've been here. I've never seen a
If
Seattle.
we don't know
nothing.
it, you're not a fan. That's
Exactly.
How I
If
feel.
we don't know, like, I need to know your fandom,
Yes.
bro. I need to know that you got trashed by everybody else.
We haven't talked in a couple years about sports, but I'm a Broncos
You're a
fan.
Broncos fan. Yeah.
It's stamped.
It's been
It's
listen,
official.
Yeah, I'm a Pats guy, man.
Facts.
It's been, and I remember
Facts.
when we were not good, or even losing in the Super Bowl to the Bears in like at '87, stuff like that.
remember
I
that.
remember some times where it was,
Steve Grogan,
yeah, it was not cool to be a Patriots fan.
Tony
And-
Eason.
And then we started winning, and then it's like, oh, you bastards! All you do is, oh, you guys suck. It's like, bro,
I was here.
It took a long time for
I
us to
was
be
here.
for us to be that. So the Blazers have also been waiting a long time for them to
Yeah.
be good. This might be the year that it happens, but there are some other teams in this Western Conference that have. Some have taken a step back. Others have maybe taken a step forward. There is a huge departure from the NBA that we'll also have to get to because one of the most iconic players in the league called it quits after arguably, based on the numbers, arguably the greatest career from a guard, in history that sans a championship. So we'll talk about that later. But I want to go through this list for the both of you. And I wanted to ask you some teams, considering the Blazers' new makeup, new coach Micah Nori, so probably a new direction. Micah Nori, who was also pegged as the defensive mind of that Minnesota Timberwolves team. So I want to ask you, based on some of these teams and based on these moves that they've made, will the Blazers be better than them? Right. So take out what we know about over-unders after the new schedule came out. Your personal belief, right? So we'll start with the low-hanging fruit. Utah Jazz,
Better.
Sacramento,
Better.
right?
Better.
These are all teams that we kind of know.
Better.
Dallas Mavericks,
Still
right?
better, but it's closer.
I mean, I think Cooper Flag takes a step forward. Obviously, you've got Kyrie coming back
Kyrie
this
comes
year to
back.
change a lot of things. I think this Dallas team, who before this were a year removed from playing in the conference in the NBA Finals.
Yep.
So,
We're better.
okay,
We're better.
the Pelicans.
Better.
Better.
All right. And now here's where it goes. Here and then we start getting into the thick of it, right? The Golden State Warriors. I think they're just old at this point.
Yeah, I think better.
Yeah.
I think the youth of the roster, plus the explosiveness with Ja and Dame coming back, I think is better than Golden State.
I do like what's my guy's name? Yaxel.
Lindenberg?
Yeah. I do like him. I think he could be a big part of this team. He's a big body playing along with Steph. Like, that could be good.
Yep.
What say you?
I say better just because if you're not in your 18th year, Steve Kerr won't play you. So I can't tell you how many times they've got a great new young guy that doesn't get to play.
Yeah, Kuminga, who nobody seems to want right now. Is
Steve-
Kuminga signed with anybody yet?
I don't think so.
That's
Not
crazy.
that I know of.
Yeah, Steve
Kuminga-
Kerr ain't gonna play you.
Yeah, no, that's a wrap. The Clippers.
Oh gosh, I think
That's
better.
tight.
I think
They might not have Kawhi. Like, there's a good chance
Right.
he's suspended or
Right.
something.
Is that the factor?
I think there's going to be some consequences and repercussions.
Yes.
So I say they don't know what they're going to do. So absolutely, I think we're better than
I
the
still think
Clippers.
better. Yeah.
Okay, I tend to agree with you. I think
Yeah.
outside of Kawhi, I think we saw in that play-in game, like, hey man, like I
Yeah.
think the Blazers are just a more complete team as opposed to the
Well,
Clippers.
no, and Kawhi went to Toronto, right?
Well, he did,
Not
but
yet.
now
They
we
might void
might
it.
void that.
Not
So
yet.
Yeah,
we'll
God.
see. Like, yeah. So we don't
Pending.
know. He might be back there. So we'll see. We're not really sure what happens with the Kawhi.
But it's not good.
No, it's not good.
None of that says stability and winning.
No, it doesn't, man. So that could be a
All
problem. First game of the season for this year for the Portland Trailblazers against division rival Phoenix Suns. I think Devin Booker is a beast. I think who else plays for Phoenix? Is it what's the guard? What's my guard's name?
Don't get
Long
me
hair,
wrong.
Jalen Green.
Oh yeah.
Jalen Green, is their guard, and they have Dylan Brooks,
Yep.
right? Who I think Dylan Brooks is a team changer. Like, I don't love him personally, but he goes there, that team starts killing all of a sudden.
I think Phoenix is one of those teams where you look and they don't have a lot of names that pop, but the sum of their parts, they play really, really well
Right.
together. And I think the Blazers and Phoenix will be bumping into each other. So this is it's not a start of the season, but it will tell us a lot early on about how we match up with a team like that.
Yeah, I think the Blazers are a little bit deeper than the Suns. Outside of really their starting lineup that includes like Jalen Green, Miles Bridges, Dylan Brooks, Devin Booker.
Yeah, we're solid. They're solid.
Yeah, I think they've got a good. It's where their second unit that I look at the Blazers and like, yeah, I think that's where things get kind of ice. Because one player we didn't really talk about for the Blazers was Shaedon Sharpe. Right, and he's coming off the bench, and he's a guy that averaged before the injury a little over 20 points, a game. So he and Scoot Henderson coming off your bench, that's huge for you. And then you've also got Sidi Sissoko, who played really well in his first year as like
he had moments.
Yeah, as
he's still learning.
Yeah, he's still trying to figure it out.
Still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, he's still trying to figure that out. But I do think they'll be better than Phoenix. Here's why I get in trouble a lot. The Minnesota Timberwolves. I think they're better than the Timberwolves this year.
Oh,
I think LaMelo is a great player. I think Ant is obviously one of the best players in the league. Outside of that, it starts getting real. Like, what are you going to get from Jaden McDaniels night to night? You never know. He's one of the definitions of inconsistent. You just gave DeSumo that big money. What does that look like? Gobert could be the best person on the floor for you, could be the biggest liability for you. At the same time, you don't really have a strong bench, especially after sending your sixth man of the year to Charlotte for LaMelo. I think the Blazers are a little deeper. I'm saying the Blazers are better than better than Minnesota.
One thing I can say about Minnesota, while they haven't had the playoff success, they always figured out the regular season. They're right there.
When you have an Anthony Edwards,
right?
Things are much easier for you.
So I do think Anthony Edwards in every game that we play against him, the best player on the court will be Anthony Edwards.
100%.
Right? And I think that goes a long way in basketball because while depth is important, especially in the long haul, in an individual game, give me the best player.
Yeah.
And I do think that's Ant.
I agree. I'm leaning Minnesota slightly. I think the superstardom of Anthony Edwards paired with LaMelo, if he's playing like LaMelo,
yep,
and then Rudy to combat Donovan, I think Minnesota just slightly.
I think if this were this past year, I would obviously agree with you. I think the addition of Dame and some shooting to your squad, because even if Dame comes in and gives you 19 a game on top of a guy in Denny who showed that he can be really get you 30 and a triple-double, at that. Like, I think just scoring the ball wise, I think the Blazers have much more talent. Then defensively, outside of, I think the Blazers are the better team.
Let me say one thing about LaMelo, and I think one negative about him, you might say he's a little unserious, right?
Oh, no.
But nothing humbles you and gets you more serious than getting traded. Right? You were supposed to be the franchise guy. Now you're the number two. How he responds to that will say a lot about where Minnesota goes.
And I think Melo is one of those guys that if you think about his career, dating back to him elementary, middle school, high school, he's always been like the third guy on the team. Like his brother was Lonzo, who was nationally ranked. His other brother D'Angelo was pretty good, but it wasn't.
Solid.
So he was always kind of the smaller guy on the team. Now he gets to be a great point guard. I think they're going to score a lot. I think it's going to be the most exciting team in the league. I just don't know. I don't know how they coexist. So we got more of the Western Conference to go. We'll do that next. Sports Saturday on the Fan.
What if you could
How long do you think you have to work to get that voice? Like, how do you figure out that you have that voice?
It's playing around.
Sports Saturday,
Bored.
105.1 The Fan. Yeah, no, I don't know. It sounds, I don't know. I always wish I could do like documentaries or something like that. I wish I had like a voice like that.
EA Sports.
Yeah, in the game. Who is that guy? Yeah.
There's a clip of him, just a normal dude, and he got paid off that.
Have you seen the Madden documentary? Like it's about the game Madden.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
It's pretty
Yeah,
tight. Man.
it is
Like,
tight.
yeah, man. Shout out to Madden for
Yeah.
giving us that gem of EA Sports. It's in the game. Like seriously, there's no better feeling as that as a young man, especially the Madden's about to come out in a little bit. I
Yeah.
think. Have you gotten college football?
I got college football already.
I
Yep.
mean, I know you don't play
No,
the game anymore.
I'm a 2K.
Okay, yeah.
NBA 2K is my. In fact,
Yeah.
the new one's coming out. My kids are on the college football. Listen. Short story. So maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I bought all my kids Xbox and a copy of NBA 2K. Right, and so
Y'all can play together.
Right,
Oh.
we can play. So AD is in Vermont, Brand is in Vegas, Cato's upstairs, and my nephew is down the street. This
Y'all
is
got
COVID.
a whole team.
We get on. We have a date, 10:00 at night. Let's go in. And so I'm the power forward. You know what I mean? And so I was a bum at first, right? So when they all
Got
would
to
get
some
off,
VC. Yeah, you had
when
to
they
your
would get,
stuff up.
I got to practice.
Yeah.
Right. And so I got nice. I came back, 2 weeks later. They were like, "Dad, you got really good." I'm like, "Hey, man, I just figured it out."
You got some moves, man. Seriously, I got some moves.
No,
Changed my tendencies.
I'm a 2K guy though.
Yeah, no, I haven't bought 2K in a couple years, only because I got kind of frustrated. But then I heard this year, I don't know how true it is, or it's a co-op My Player.
Really?
I'm on. So two people can play in the same My Career, like same.
That's corny. I don't
What
want.
you mean?
I don't want to get
What you mean?
Get up out of my
No,
guy.
All of a sudden, like we can both play for the for the Timberwolves or for the whoever. Like
He's
let's
saying
go.
you're gonna hurt his
Yeah,
MVP chances.
I'm not.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
your
no,
game
see?
like that. I don't
No,
get up out of here.
Yeah, see, that's
It's only
selfish.
one ball.
That's that LaMelo. That's
It's
that
only
LaMelo
one
stuff.
ball.
That's that LaMelo stuff, man. So we were sitting here going through the Western Conference and considering what teams might be better than our beloved Portland Trailblazers. And so far, looked like we've said all of them, most of the Western Conference except for one, will continue to move forward, with the next one being the Houston Rockets. I'm saying I want to say yes, but at the same time, they have Kevin Durant, who's really, really, really good. KD is going to play. He's going to be like LeBron. KD is going to play till he's 45.
Yeah.
Easy. Like, I mean, barring injuries, and I'm knocking on wood here, the way KD plays, he's going to play till he's mid-40s, and the way he shoots, even if he's not the star of the team, he'll be a crazy shooter off the bench.
He's a 7'2" guard that whenever he rises up, he's open.
It's
right?
insane.
He doesn't rely on speed, so he can play until he's tired of it. I to be honest, I think they again underachieved during the playoffs, but regular season, I think they'll be just fine. And the way they play defense, and it'll be the second year with him.
Yeah.
Right. Like the NBA is not that league anymore where you can just drop in an amazing free agent and everything's fixed in year one. That's not how it works anymore. So I think this second year, I could actually see them better, not worse.
I'm with you.
I
think
agree
they're
with
better.
that. I think that's a good point. I think they very much underachieved last season. And I think there was
100%.
a lot that went wrong with them injury-wise. But on paper, their talent, I think, is better than the Blazers.
I mean,
think KD with Sengun and Amin Thompson, I think that trio itself.
And then you throw in Jabari Smith Jr.,
and then you got
who's a really good
their
young
depth as
forward.
well.
And then you bring in the returning, nobody's talked enough about this, Fred VanVleet. Comes back from after tearing his.
They didn't have a point guard
so
last
they didn't have a
year,
guard.
right?
So really, you had Amin Thompson and KD that really kind of Marcus Smart played. You know what I'm saying in that role. So now you've got him. You got Atari Eason, Reed Shepherd, who is a great shooter for you. So I think this Houston team is going to be good. So I do think they will be better than our Blazers. Next up on this list is somebody I think we're definitely better in. That's the newly owned Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, I won't get into it all the way, but I think they're better than the Lakers outside of Luka. Obviously, Luka is the guy. I mean, I think the Blazers have their version of Luka, who might be a little bit faster than, who is definitely a lot faster than him. They play very similar. I always said, Denny reminds me a lot of Luka, his change of pace and how he can do stuff like that. So I think just the way this Lakers team is constructed currently, yes, I think it looks like the Duke lacrosse team. And
listen,
yeah.
I think that going into this season is going to be one of the biggest stories. Like,
oh yeah,
how do they play together, right? And we talked about this offline a little bit, but the way they're made up, and now they're owned by the Trump family.
Essentially, yeah.
I don't know if that was an accident.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it does. It seems real crazy. You
You have to work really hard to build that roster in a league that is 85% black and brown.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's a new look Lakers.
Yeah,
it looks like the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that, and I want to see. I honestly, I think they could be great. I think they could be awful.
I think I think
like I don't know. I got to see this.
That's a great perspective. I think
none of us have seen this before.
It could go really either way. You look at this roster that has a Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Laravia. I hope I'm saying his name, Jake Laravia, and also the new Walker Kessler. But then after that, it can be like Colin Sexton is good. Kevon Looney is good. Matisse Thybulle, who I was really sad about leaving this Blazers team because I thought he defensively is so good. Their roster gets kind of thin after a few of their starters, but those starters they have are great.
Listen,
Brandon.
Go ahead, Brandon.
No, yeah, we don't know a lot about this new look Lakers team, and I think that'll tell a lot about how much better they are than the Blazers. I mean, the Blazers are somewhat of a new look to a degree, but we've seen a lot of the core from this past season. So I think in that perspective, I think the Blazers are better than the Lakers. If the Lakers figure this out with this new group, the Lakers could be better just because, again, the Luka effect takes over a lot of how good a team is.
Right.
Because that's just how good he is.
Yeah, I think the history with Luka is pretty deep, especially in the Portland world. Shout out to Nico Harrison, who is a Portland native and SCI alumni.
Yeah.
But I think all of a sudden Nico doesn't look like the dummy they tried to make him out to be. He to me, and nobody has challenged me with this, is like Luka's the worst defensive superstar in the history of basketball, and it's not close.
James Harden, was for a lot of people now. I love James Harden.
As bad as Harden is, Luka's worse. Statistically, nobody's been blown by more in the history of the playoffs than him. So you're literally playing every possession 5-on-4, right? And so for you to be that bad, you have to be 30, 10, and 8.
Oh, yeah, you got to make up for it somehow.
So when you don't do that and you're just good and not great, I think that's the answer on how you beat the Lakers. And I didn't see them add a whole bunch of defensive help.
No, they didn't.
In fact,
Walker Kessler
they got worse.
Walker Kessler, can block some shots, but no, they don't really have anybody that can stand pat on defense. I think the Lakers take a step backwards this year, but it wouldn't shock me, like you said, if they just happen to come out and just firing on all cylinders.
Right.
Next up is the guy that will be leading the NBA all-time in triple doubles. Right now, Russell Westbrook has 208, and he retired with 208. Jokic is right behind him with like 193 or something like that, 192. So he's literally right behind him. But the Denver Nuggets are the next team. It's hard. I think that's hard for me. I still think the Nuggets are going to be great. Jokic is just unguardable. There's nothing you can do offensively about him. Defensively, he might be as bad as Luka, but offensively, like Jokic is just a maestro with the bat. He is the most unconventional basketball player I've ever seen. There's nothing about Jokic that says you're supposed to be cold.
Yeah.
Nothing about you. The way you shoot is weird. The way everything just kind of seems like an accident for him. Like when he lays it up, it's like that's not supposed to go in. But it goes in every time because he's magic.
I think this goes back to my earlier point. Every game that he plays, I think he's the best player on the court, right? He's a liability, yes, but the best players in basketball aren't centers. anymore.
No.
So while is Rudy Gobert going to light him up for no, right? Who's really going to light up? So we can live with his defensive liabilities because the guy he's playing against isn't
there's no
usually
Shaqs or anything in the league right now.
Offensive juggernaut. So I think again he makes it happen. He's as consistent. He doesn't miss a lot of games. So I don't see us moving past Denver.
Yeah, agree. I think Nuggets had our number this past season, just watching them head to head, and they haven't really changed much of their roster. It's pretty much the same core. I think the Nuggets are slightly better.
I mean, it's hard to disagree with that. Like, and as long as you have Jokic, and Jamal Murray is one of the more underrated players like in the league, he just kind of makes it happen offensively, and he can do a little bit of everything. So yeah, I do think this team and Aaron Gordon, one of my favorite players like in the league.
Gordon.
You know, he's just he's the definition of a glue guy.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
I just go in there and play basketball and try to get dubs. I remember when he couldn't shoot that well, and then he went to the playoffs last year or the year before last and was knocking down big shots to send his team into overtime and stuff. So he's definitely one of the wood. I think we kind of know the answer for the last two teams in the Western Conference, and that is the defending Western Conference champions, the San Antonio Spurs, and the team that they played in the Western Conference Finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder. 1, 2, 3.
Not
no.
better.
Like, I think we all know, like, and that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. This is one of those seasons in my mind where I'm like, can we hurry up, fast forward through the season,
and let's
get to
there.
the
Let's
Western
simulate.
Conference
Let's
Finals
simulate through the
and
season,
just
bro.
watch the Thunder and Spurs go at it again.
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you, for me, this was the most entertaining Final Four, right, for me in a long time. I mean, it was just good basketball, and it's not just good basketball, the drama, right? When people talk about the golden age, whether it's the Lakers, going against the Celtics, or the Pistons going against Michael Jordan, it wasn't just the basketball, but it was the drama and the beef and the competitiveness. That's what it felt like watching this year's finals. So to me, all these are great, right? The regular season is great, but boy, that was
things ramped up when we got when we got to the play-in.
Yeah,
like that first game with the Blazers and then even in the Eastern Conference that was like those first games. Like, okay, this is playoff basketball.
Yeah.
It was chippy. It was like guys that are usually cool. We live in this NBA now. You guys work out in the off season together. Like they go to the summer league together. Like they really kick it. They got to playoffs and it was like, nah, fam. Nah, it's us, it's y'all, and that's the way that's going to be. There's one player that I'm waiting for come back from the next this upcoming season. I think he's going to be a beast, and I think he sat and watched the Eastern Conference just move on without him for a year. Tyrese Halliburton was my favorite player in the NBA. I love the way he plays. His jumper is ugly. His jumper is unconventional, but I don't think there's many people in the NBA that shoot like Klay right now. Like most people shoot probably closer to Halliburton than they do anybody else. I think he's a guy in the Eastern Conference that's going to come back with this team, and he just knows how to play basketball.
No,
regardless of who's around him, I know how to hoop.
You're right. I forgot. I mean, that's how the NBA is, right? We just move on
so fast,
forgetting that. I mean, they were right there.
And he was cooking before he got hurt.
Yeah,
like,
that was tough.
He had like the first 11 points.
Yeah,
it's like, Tyrese looks like he's on a mission. And then that happened. So I think when you look around and you see the changes that Boston made and you see Philadelphia has become, kind of the must-see team in the Eastern Conference and everything. Detroit took a huge step forward.
What about the Wizards?
The Wizards, Debanza in summer league, he can't shoot for nothing, but
so you got Trae Young, right?
AD if he's healthy for 20 games,
right? And to me that's my dark horse.
And then they still got Sarr, right? They still got
So if he figures out how to play basketball,
yeah. I mean, I think this would be great for Sarr because now he can just go to playing the five. I don't have to worry about
my squads that I got an eye on.
Trae Young is one of the most underrated players in the world to me. I was like, man, this dude is 5'10" and gives you a double like for the most part. Like you can't, and he can shoot the lights out. Like you definitely need a player like Trae Young. Coming up next, man, let's talk about who the best rosters in the league is for the NFL. Man, whether it's the roster you like for personal reasons or just the one that's on paper is just a beast. We'll talk about that next. But first, Brandon Henson with the SportsCenter update.
Now, From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Devin Witherspoon has a much bigger bank account today. The Seahawks 3-time Pro Bowler agreed to a 4-year, $132 million extension that includes $101 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. NFL preseason last night, Tua Tagovailoa with a forgettable debut for the Falcons, 3 for 5, 22 yards, and a fumble as Atlanta got dominated by the Broncos 27-7. Malik Willis in his Dolphins debut led an opening 14-play, 93-yard touchdown drive, but the Commanders won the game 20-7, and the Buccaneers beat the Jets 24-16. 7 more preseason games today, capped off by the Seahawks taking on the Cowboys at 5 o'clock. Coverage starts at 3 p.m. right here on 105.1 The Fan. Your Portland Fire capped off a 4-game season sweep of its rival Seattle Storm last night, winning on the road 84-82. Holly Winterburn, who averaged 2.5 points per game coming into the night, dropped 16 points in the first quarter on her way to a career-high 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. Fire head to Phoenix to battle the Mercury tomorrow at 4 p.m. Tune in on 9:10 a.m. ESPN Portland. And your Portland Thorns are back in action tonight in Providence Park against the Orlando Pride. Coverage starts at 5:30 on 9:10 a.m. ESPN Portland ahead of a 5:45 kickoff. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt and spray.
Football starting up. We are right around the corner. First game of the season, September 9th at Lumen Field. Seahawks hosting the better team, the best team in the league, the New England Patriots. So Coach Vrabel should be, hopefully he's concentrating. Hopefully he's have any weird scandals going on now. Hopefully he's taking care of his kid? Question mark? We'll
Yikes. What kind of show y'all running
Hey,
here,
man,
man?
like, hey, man.
Hey.
Hey, man, y'all don't think it's his kid?
Please call Rashad Taylor at
But for real, y'all don't think that's his kid? Come on,
It's
now.
hard to not think that.
Come on, man. I mean, that's my coach.
Ain't he named after him?
Is he? Is his name Michael?
I think the baby's name is Mike.
No.
I'm dead serious.
I've got to look that up.
I'm
man.
dead serious.
Not,
I think the baby's name is Mike.
I hope not, man.
Right?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, man. So
Listen.
yes, definitely he's definitely the pappy, and he better have everything in place because he will be visiting one of potentially the best roster in football on September 9th in Lumen Field, as he and his New England Patriots will take on the Seattle Seahawks in the season opener, the night the Seahawks get their Super Bowl banners hung, the night that the Seahawks officially can say that they ran the 25-26 season and did it at the expense of my New England Patriots. That's all happening. Hey, man, I'm not saying Seattle's the best team in the league, because I don't think that's the case as far as roster is concerned. Obviously, we just saw their corner, Witherspoon, just got paid a whole lot of money. And Emma Warren, the other corner. I always say his name incorrectly. Forgive me if I'm butchering that. But you look at a team that just from top to bottom is great. They're probably their biggest question mark, and I don't know how much of a question mark it is after the Super Bowl, was Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. Coming into the Super Bowl, everybody was like, Sam Darnold. I think he answered every question for everybody in that Super Bowl. And then you throw out the breakout star. Like, I don't know if we ever saw somebody had that big of a come up in one season. You lose a great target, and then you just become the target in the NFL. Jackson Smith-Njigba became one of those ones. He's the guy that won me my fantasy league. Jackson Smith-Njigba was the guy that won me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you probably got him like in the 5th round somewhere, right?
He was one of my one of my second or third receiver taken. So nobody knew he would have a season like this, and he ended up being great. I think the Seahawks are definitely one of those teams, just top to bottom. Even on with Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy II, like, you have some hitters on defense. So I just think this team is going to be great. I think losing their running back, Kenneth Walker. I think that's I don't know about you, B-Hen, but during the Super Bowl, just watching him shred our defense was absolutely heartbreaking. But I think they take a bit of a step back, but I think the Seattle is so deep to where it won't really matter like that.
Let me say this. I think as we go through all of these, I think one of the themes I always said, you can have amazing talent, but until I started watching this season's NFL Hard Knocks, I
haven't seen it yet. I haven't started watching yet.
So they're following the Seahawks.
Right.
After 15 minutes of watching that, I said, "Oh, I get it. It's the culture, right? This guy knows what he's doing." And so you can have all the people in the world, and in the NBA, I don't think coaching is as important. Show me a good roster, and I'll show you a good team. But in the NFL, where everybody is kind of in the same boat, that culture, leadership, that program, when you watch that show, you're gonna be, "Oh, I get why they're champions."
Yeah,
right?
You can tell. You can tell when there are certain programs or there are certain franchises, like, do your job.
Yeah.
It was always the Patriots kind of motto. It wasn't flashy and everything, but then you come there. I remember Ocho Cinco came to New England and was like, "Oh, this is different. This is different. Not Cincinnati."
You know it right away.
Yes.
There's a scene on that Hard Knocks where I forgot who that top rusher is, but he's one of the stars, and he's getting too dang close to the quarterback.
Was it Leonard Williams or?
I think so. But he told him, "Hey, man, get the H away from my quarterback, right? I don't care who you are." And he's the most mild-mannered guy, but you saw when it was time to turn up, I'll turn up with whoever because this is my team.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are the signs of again, the roster's important, but who's running it?
Absolutely. And you look at a great example of that, the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Before Dan Campbell,
come on,
they were a laughing stock.
Yep.
Dan Campbell came in and made them we're not winning isn't optional. We have to do this. You're going to do this, and if you're going to be here, and so you see every year people are, man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's the running back, going to be the first running back taken for a lot of people for fantasy. This
great
year.
Example.
People are looking at what they did. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you've got guys over there that completely change a culture, and you see that happening in Seattle. For you guys, who are the best teams, best rosters you think going into the season football? And we can't say our home team because obviously, the Pats would be, the one. But yes, if you had to see B-Hen, what would you say?
I think on paper you got to go with the Rams.
I think that's the first.
No question.
An obvious answer. you have most of the same team that fell short in the NFC Championship game, and then you add the best defensive player to ever play in the last 20 years in Myles Garrett.
And potentially
Aaron Donald on top of that. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
that one's just hard to ignore. So I would say if we're talking best roster on paper
100%.
coming into this season is the Rams.
That's my answer.
I think that's a no-brainer. I love how the Rams they find a way to stay relevant, right? For the last like 5 or 6 years, they're either there or dang close and one move away. So again, back to the program, man. When you hear their coach talk, right? When you see them make those tough decisions to send guys away, kind of like Bill Belichick, right? The year before, right? It's time to go is when he sends you out, and it allows them to keep building. So I'll definitely go with the Rams as well.
So that's a pretty easy answer. You look at what the Rams, had this last year. You add Myles Garrett, cornerback Trent McDuffie. You've got obviously a great offensive unit with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum. Like, you've got great weapons. And you have the most valuable player in the league in Matthew Stafford. You've got a great looking head coach who was a wonderkin. That's what we called him for a long time. He's not so young anymore. So everything is in place for you, and potentially one of the greatest defenders of all time, possibly the greatest defender of all time, in Aaron Donald, coming back to your squad. So that's easy. Worst roster in the league is a little harder to do.
Okay, before we jump to worse, y'all not just going to talk about the Patriots, and we're not going to give a shout out to the Broncos.
Give him the floor.
That's what we're not going to do.
You're absolutely right.
So let's remember, we're a broken toe, right, on a kneel down from going to the Super, because we're beating,
which was crazy.
We almost beat y'all with Jarrett Stidham or whoever we rolled out there. Okay, so Bo Nix, one more year under Sean Payton. Right, and let's be real. At times, Bo Nix looks like Baby Drew, right? At
times,
right? At times. So we'll have another year of that. Defense is solid, lockdown, right? We really do that.
Yeah.
Add another year to there, and the sneaky, we added Waddle from Miami, right? So now we have
got
that
somebody
speed.
coming underneath.
Now, so to me, and full disclosure, I am not a fan of Sean Payton, the human,
the guy,
right?
The coach, though,
how he did Russ is despicable.
Was crazy,
right? I was mad at my squad,
and I don't even like Russ,
right?
Like that, you know what I mean?
But you don't do somebody like that.
No.
But that being said, that man can coach. Right, he never been a loser. Right, when he shows up, things get
wins.
better, and he's really one of the last old school guys that are still making a difference. A lot of these younger guys are coming out with their new stuff, but I think Sean Payton, and when you talk about a program, Sean Payton runs a program. You can trace his stuff all the way back to Parcells, right, if you want to. So I think that we have as much action as anybody. The roster's solid. We're young. So look out. That's all I'm saying, Patriots.
Shout out to Bo Nix for obvious reasons. And that obvious reason is he was my fantasy quarterback that won me a championship last year. Nothing to do with the fact that he was the University of Oregon Ducks quarterback or anything like that. But shout out to Bo Nix.
Right.
I also believe that this Broncos team, like the snow was some of the best thing that could have happened to that Patriots squad. And that, but I mean, hey man, nobody could throw the ball.
Hey,
and
it is what it is.
I couldn't do nothing.
It is
so,
what it is.
It was one of those things. But I do fully believe the Broncos are going to be one of those teams to compete in a really, really stacked AFC West. I think that's going to be a great goal of it. Coming up next, man, we'll wrap it up. I do want to talk about who the worst roster is, but we'll also wrap it up with some other stuff. We'll tie a bow on it. Sports Saturday on the Fan.
So, what are you reading?
just talking about our amazing kids and them doing amazing things after they left high school, man, we'll definitely ask Coach Deloney about his amazing will be soon to be at some point probably Oregon Hall of Fame, and everything like that. But before we get that, just real quick, man, worst rosters is pretty easy. There are some teams out there. I think we could all come up with at least one.
Yeah.
But for me, it's pretty easy, and it's the Arizona Cardinals. Like, we talk about a really good NFC West who is just, man, super stacked with those top three teams. After that, man, and then there's the Cardinals. They don't really have a quarterback. They're going to be relying on Jacoby Brissett or Carson Beck. They have no real depth. I think really Budda Baker and Trey McBride are the only real pieces that they truly have right there. And then they're just in a brutal division to where they have to play two teams that are considered the best rosters in football, two of the top 5 rosters in football, in the Rams and Seahawks. And then a still very, very good roster in the San Francisco 49ers. That's 6 games per year that you have to play there. So I think it's going to be a long year for the Cardinals.
Yeah, I can't even add nothing to it. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible. It's so they're not fun to play. They're not fun to watch. Like, it's just,
I think I'm going to go with Miami.
That's exactly where I was going.
I'm going to go with Miami.
Yeah.
You lose Tua, who, he wasn't really giving you much anyways, but he's gone. Jalen Waddle, gone. You got Malik Willis coming in, who you're not totally confident in just yet. He'll probably give you like a B+ type of performance throughout the season, and your only go-to option, I think, is Devon Achane. So that's not a lot to work with.
You got the rookies, Caleb Douglas, you know what I mean? And so you got him, you got Chris Bell. Yeah, I mean,
just a lot of question marks.
Gross.
It's going to be gross, right? It's going to be a while before Miami finds any. But the cool part is they play in the AFC East. There's a great chance the top 2 teams, the AFC East, which more than likely would be the Bills and the Patriots. Patriots have a really tough schedule this year, like a really tough schedule. So maybe they take a step backwards. I don't think so, but maybe they do. So that's the one thing about playing in a bad division. Like, you're telling me there's a chance. Like, I can say, well, seriously, don't believe me? Ask the NFC South.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're better than the worst, then you've got a chance.
Well, while we're talking about the worst in the AFC East, then you got to bring up the New York Jets.
Yep.
Who are just notoriously
which way is up?
Right.
I can't name right now a worse franchise in professional sports. Like it's been that bad for so long.
I'm trying to think if there's an NBA team that's just been asked.
Who's the equivalent? Like
the Wizards, maybe? But even they had a guy in Westbrook that averaged a triple-double for him once in between there in the last 5 years. So
what's the last Jet highlight?
Right?
Butt
fumble.
The butt fumble, unfortunately.
Butt fumble.
Right?
Yeah.
It's really bad over there. And again, I'm never, hoping somebody gets fired. But I was shocked that they kept their coach.
They should relegate them to college.
I want to say the last stat I saw had them last year. They had 0 interceptions as a defense.
Yeah.
For the season. Like that, you didn't get a tip ball?
Yeah. And who was the corner? Was it Sauce? Who's the corner?
They gave him away, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. That's right.
They gave him away.
I don't even keep up on Jets news. Like, they just give away their players, all the time.
Bad.
So not worth talking about. More than likely, the Jets will finish the bottom of that AFC East. It would be a huge shock if they won any more than 5 games.
Right.
So, Anthony Deloney, on top of being a coach, on top of being the development director for a great culturally specific organization, man, he's also got some amazing kids, right? Some amazing young men that he was able to raise. Shout out to them. Shout out to Brandon, Cato, and my guy, young AD. But AD grew up to be just one of the best basketball players and shooters that the city has ever seen, and now it's playing in France, man.
It's playing in France. So we talked early on about going overseas.
Right.
This is his 3rd year. He finished a great career at University of Vermont, where they went to the tournament. Three years.
Yeah.
3 out of his 4 years.
He was a 6th man of the year.
He was 6th man of the year twice. All tournament teams. So had a great year. In fact, his last game of his college career was against Duke at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Right, so you can't do
pretty
better
good way
than
to
that,
go out.
right?
Yeah.
The funny story. So he said his last game beforehand, it's Grant Hill and who's my guy that says onions, the announcer, Bill Raftery. Bill Raftery. So he says he's warming up, and Grant Hill says, "Hey D." Calls him his nickname. Come on over here. Shake Grant Hill's hand. He's like, bro, I'm blown away. And there's this older white guy that's like, hey man, I really like your game. You got this. Da, 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 da. And I said, bro, that was Bill Raftery. He was like, who? I was like, boy, as much as you love Grant Hill, right? I'm sweating Bill Raftery. So he's had a great career, but this is his third year playing professionally. He was in Greece year 1, Azerbaijan year 2, and now he's in northern France. So making a living, doing his thing, and but he loves Portland, right? He worked here for the summer. He led our full circle moment. He led our middle school basketball camp with Khalil Chapman this year. Shout out to Stretch.
So you want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
I worked at Self-Enhancement for 10 years. 10, amazing years. I've met some, amazing people that I've known for a long time there. But I haven't been in the building in 5 years since I haven't worked there, right? And so my stepson got the defensive player of camp, Mr.
Congratulations.
Defense. He's been that's an award that's kind of eluded him for every year that he's there. He's always missed the runner-up, something like that. So he finally got it. So I was like, man, let me go up there and see what was up. And the crazy part is I walked in, and I'm expecting to see a bunch of people that I don't really know because it's been 5 years. Right? It's been half a decade since I've been, since I've been gone. And come in, first person I see is my guy, friend of the show, guest host of the show, my guy Sam Thompson.
Yep.
And then I see, all these kids that I worked with, and I met them when they were 7th graders or 6th graders and stuff like that, and now they are 25-year-old, young men and women that were running back. So I saw Cameron and Khalil, I saw AD, and I saw all my coworkers, man. Shout out to my guy Kendall, shout out to my girl Sarah, shout out to I walked in, it's like, oh, all my coworkers are here. Like it was super crazy, but it was great to see because SEI basketball camp has been a proving ground. Yeah. Just real quick, because we're going to wrap up here in a bit, but who are some of the great players that have come through Portland, come through SEI basketball camp that you've been able to see that have gone on to like college or even NBA? Because I know obviously the Terrell Brandons and all those guys, they were, Damon Stoudemire's were fixtures back in the, late 80s, early 90s.
Those are guys that were my age that clearly went on to have major success. But, people don't know Ime Udoka, right, was a player, right?
Jefferson High School.
A dang good player, right? Michael Lee and Aaron Miles. Right when
Big 12's all-time leader in steals and assists. Yeah, I think he's second in steals or something like that. Yeah.
Thomas Gardner, same window went to Missouri. There was a time where if you went to Jeff, you were going D1 and Brandon Lincoln,
Terrence Ross, and Terrence Jones,
who else? Andrew Andrews.
My guy, go shout out to UW,
right?
Man.
So
Andrew Andrews, real name, man, and he was the nicest, coolest kid. Absolutely,
great
my man.
Guy, great. And shout out to Mike James, the all-time leading EuroLeague guy, who actually mentors my son AD. So you see the full circle moments.
Mike James, one of those guys who actually came back and gave back and make sure that he does a basketball camp, which kind of mimics SEIs every year. Kind of bit off SEIs every year, but it's great. It's exactly what somebody's supposed to do.
That's right.
After they've gone on and done some great things in their own lives, man.
That's right,
man. Deloney, thank you so much, man. There's nobody I would have rather have done this with today, man. Outside of my guy B-Hen behind the glass, man.
It goes fast.
It goes fast, man. Here in and out. Here we go, man. We just got here a little bit ago, man. Yeah. So you can find Anthony Deloney. Let me see. A.D. Deloney at
Anthony D at Self-Enhancement. No.
Changed it.
So AD is my personal. Y'all don't hit me there. If you want to give some money to SEI, Anthony D at selfenhancement.org.
There it is, man. And if you want to get at him just on his other one, I'm sure he'll give you his personal.
AD Deloney, if you're on Instagram, whatever.
Follows
AD Deloney.
Yeah,
come follow your boy. Come mess with me.
And come watch Grant play because he'll be one of the
Go
coaches.
Generals. Listen, you can't say Grant without saying Ant. That's all I'm saying.
There it is, man. There it is. So for my guy, Anthony Deloney, my guy, Brandon Henson, man, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you,
Good stuff, y'all.
Appreciate it, man. This is Sports Saturday. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.